You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Welcome to the exciting world of the movies.
Hello, all you retro movie lovers. Happy New Year's Eve, and welcome back to the Movie Graveyard. We got a blowout celebration. We're recording this on December 31st, 2020, and we're sending out the shittiest year of our lives out with a bang, aren't we, Zach?
Exactly, we're going to blow this fucking year's head off live on the screen, on the show.
We're going to totally strike back against the system, just like the protagonist of this awesome, awesome film that we're going to watch tonight, New Year's Evil. Ain't that right, baby?
Exactly. We're going to put on our fake mustaches and fucking go out and eat some fucking food with some chicks, take it back to our house, and you'll see when we watch the movie, baby.
Yeah, talk about a total Chad striking back against the system of oppression and tyranny that tries to take men's rights away. Ain't that right?
Hell yeah, trying to castrate us.
Exactly. We're going to get rolling into it right now. We got the movie paused at the 1 second mark on the disc. This is a old school. I love this, man. I'm not going to lie. If I made a movie now, I would want this screen on my movie. Old school, blue, grainy piece of film here. It says this motion picture has been rated R, restricted by the Code and Rating Administration. So, we got to pause on that blue screen. I want to see 1, 2, 3, go. And when I say go, hit play on your remotes or your mouses. Everybody, 1, 2, 3, go.
Hell yes.
Happy New Year's.
You know what's funny is whenever you said we were doing this, at first I read New Year's Evil, but I was thinking Christmas Evil, and I was like, hell yeah, let's do Christmas. I'm thinking like we're doing Christmas Evil, and I was like, I swear he did that movie. I swear I was just listening to that. Yeah, I was just listening to that not that long ago.
I like how it starts out with the shot of this Tower Hotel. Which at the time it was a Holiday Inn, but now I looked it up. It's a fancy ass hotel, so you probably have to pay a lot of money to stay there in Hollywood now.
Mm-hmm.
The movie is like set in Hollywood, like where this New Year's Eve show is going on, but most of it takes place out in the San Fernando Valley.
And this is a freaking genius idea for a plot for a movie. Like a guy calling into a radio station and freaking like killing somebody every hour for like the different time zones on as soon as the clock strikes 12.
Yeah. And like Halloween 3 should have watched this movie because like you know how they always rip on Halloween 3 saying what about the different time zones? Exactly. Our killer here, Evil. I can't say vowels anymore because he fucked me up when he said, "My name is Evil."
That weird ass voice he's got.
Yeah. But Evil had to figure it out because he was like, "Fuck the time zones. I'm going to take the time zones and like they're not going to. Not only they're not going to stop me, but they're going to make me kill more people."
Mm-hmm.
And
that's how you know.
Yeah, I gotta say, you can't let time zones be your enemy. Like me, I understand Eastern and Pacific, everything in the middle, I'm always confused. You know that, Zach.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering, like, at the end of Halloween 3, when he's talking about people bring up the different time zones, don't it just show at the same time? And, like, the fact that it's at different times just depend. Like, he don't have to stop it once, right? He wouldn't have to come back an hour later and stop it again.
Well, like, also, too, Halloween 3, they do set up that he's in California, so he's really like on the later time zone. So, when people are always like, oh yeah, are they going to take his word for it? It's like, well, actually they might because, like, I mean, he, this is the days before internet and shit. Like, he hasn't been available to the news the last couple of years. They might have, like, blew everybody's heads up or whatever through all the time zones already. So maybe that's why they're actually shutting it off when he calls,
Oh, yeah.
And everybody says, like, oh, he called the one station that controls all the TV stations. They never say who he calls. What if he's calling the FBI or something and, like, they know, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. He called the Illuminati, I think. That's fucking our boy. He knows.
Speaking of Illuminati, like, this is a donk-ass hotel room because they have, like, on the inside of the door, they have, like, a lantern light that you would see outside on a porch, but it's inside this hotel room.
Hell yeah.
This is the first victim, Yvonne, and like we don't even know who Yvonne is right now, other than she's got some great Stevie Wonder hairdo.
Yeah, we only know that she's the same chick that was on Demons, the Dario Argento movie.
Yeah.
She got the same haircut.
Same haircut, everything. And a drippy shower.
Not the drippy sore on her face, though. That would have been donk.
That pops out in the girl's mouth and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, this is a good way to start the movie, though. What was you gonna say, Ben?
Yeah, I was gonna say, imagine like the first time you get a BJ, you got a big sore, and like she fucking sucks that instead because it's dark in the room or something, and she freaking sucks it so hard it pops.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be a donk.
It would be. Now here we have she got killed in the shower, but it was like very clever, wasn't it? Because she didn't get killed taking a shower. The killer was in the shower. He popped out, pulled her in.
Hell yeah! It looked like whenever she was going to turn on the water, her fingernail like bent the wrong way, like they were rubber fingernails or something. Maybe I didn't see it right. Yeah, blew my mind.
And here, then we go to the title sequence, and this is like, we don't even know this before now, but this is actually a punk rock film, ain't it?
Hell yes.
We get the theme song played by Shadow called New Year's Evil, which has been turned into a huge international rock hit throughout the decades. And yeah, this is the first time you hear it. I always love it with that girl flashing in the van. She falls over when they pull away. She just falls down and hits her head in the van. That's great. But this is almost like Demons as well, because remember Demons had the punks driving around?
Oh, yes.
But this movie came out about 4 or 5 years before Demons, so obviously New Year's Evil is one of the most influential films ever made.
Mm-hmm.
I like that square guy on the motorcycle. He looks so perturbed.
Now, when they get to the club, are they a bunch of punks, or is it like new wave?
Yeah, it's supposed to be new wave, yeah. But to be honest, and granted, you know, this is very early. Like, this movie came out in 1980, I believe. And I would think that they shot this in 1979 on the director's track. They keep talking about shooting in 1979, but Wikipedia's got some fucked up shit where it claims it was shot in October 1980 and released December 1980, which even for canon, I don't think they could have made a movie like that quick. I think they must have made this in 1979 sometime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what the director remembers, so I want to remember his word. By the way, have you ever heard the commentary track that goes on this awesome Blu-ray?
I haven't.
They give Bill Olson, who, if you're a big home video guy, he runs Code Red Video, but he does the moderating with the director, which is weird because this is a Scream Factory disc. It's out of print now, but it was when it came out. It's kind of funny that they would get one of their competitors to come in and moderate their commentary track for them.
Yeah, was it like recorded for Code Red and they held it over or ported it?
You know, I thought they said something about Scream Factory on I could be wrong, but I thought they even said it was for Scream Factory, but I could be wrong. Maybe Code Red did a previous release and Scream just like bought the track. Now this is a great scene where the punks, they confront the cop, and I love the cop because for some reason they put a police officer in charge of taking everybody's tickets to the events. He's got a great, I'm going to say it's looped in, but he's got a great voice where he's like, tickets, do you have your tickets, tickets? He just says that over and over, tickets. And then like the most effeminate punk rocker ever comes up and like threatens him with the switchblade comb. That was dank, man.
Exactly.
That scene had me on the edge of the seat.
That looks like the same guy from that one movie, fucking Blood, whatever that movie is. They showed it on
Blood Rage
one time. Yeah, like that same motherfucker.
Who the son? You think that's him?
Yeah, it looks like him.
No, it's a different guy because this is Grant Kramer and this was his first movie. So, actually, maybe you're right there. Are you talking about like the main killer guy in Blood Rage or no?
Nah, this is the kid that came in. Yeah, I could be wrong. It's from my memory.
Maybe that sexy blonde hair is throwing you into hysterics.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I actually have a copy of Blood Rage I got about a year ago. I still have to watch it.
Dog.
But I think I can't remember, is Blood Rage a Thanksgiving themed slasher?
It is. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, like it was the day after Thanksgiving the other day. Or I guess it was a month ago, whenever it was. And I was like, fuck, I fucked up because I just remember Blood Rage was Thanksgiving movie, and I was like, I should have watched that for Thanksgiving because I tried to. Let's see, Mark Soper was the killer. I think he's. I don't even know if he's a killer guy. They make him seem to be the killer guy in the poster or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's a different guy.
Yeah,
Mark Soper. Ted Raimi played the condom salesman in Blood Rage, however, though.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been a donk role. He had probably prepared months for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we should really talk about the setup of this movie. And I think this movie kind of won't really make a lot of sense to younger people because, like, you know, we just have, like, a couple of New Year's Eve shows on major networks now.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day, they used to have all these regional ones on, like, UHF stations, and, like, that's kind of what this is. This one's called Hollywood Hotline with Blaze, and Blaze is kind of nebulous, like, really what she is in the entertainment industry, I guess. She's kind of like a punk rock host. She's kind of like this lady in her, I don't know, maybe late 30s, early 40s, and, like, I think she plays the role well. This is Roz Kelly. She played Pinky Tuscadero, Arthur Fonzarelli's girlfriend on the hit sitcom Happy Days.
Dog.
Yeah, and she all we really know at this point is she's the host of the show, and her son, who just came in before, the blonde guy, young blonde guy, Grant Kramer. I think he made this movie. He was like 18 or 19, his first film role. He just, in the movie, he comes in bragging to his mom that he got a part in a TV series. And she totally just doesn't care because, like, it seems like all she cares about is her career at this point or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he's, like, really heartbroken. Like, he's all dressed up, too, like, come to see his mom. And, like, he's really heartbroken. She don't care about what he's doing.
Exactly. She's just, like, she also, like, went on to rebrand as Blaze Ya Dead Homie and became a Juggalo rapper in more recent times.
Did she? I didn't know that.
Exactly.
I tried looking her up, and I didn't know she joined the Juggalo Army or whatever.
She did.
And like, they kind of just checked in on the monitors now. Like, they try to, like, it's great use of stock footage because it kind of looks real, but they show these different parties going on in all of the different time zones. So I'm guessing this show is probably coming on at, like, 5 in the afternoon or something. It's going all night. Because, like, if they're showing, like, you know, Eastern time, let's see. Let's say the first time zone would be Eastern time, I think. So they're 3 hours behind LA time. So, like, midnight LA would be 9. So, like, they really got to, you know, it's not like they're getting ready to do the first countdown right now. Well, I guess they kind of are. So maybe this is coming on around 8-ish. It can't come on right at 9 because, you know, it would be over already. So it has to come on at, like, 8 something. And this is where we get the killer of the movie, played by the awesome Kip Niven, who fortunately passed away real recently, last year or so. He's got a thing. I didn't know what that thing was. It's supposed to be for people who have damaged vocal cords.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was like an actual thing, like a voice changer, or if he's just putting something in his mouth to obscure his voice or something. Yeah,
he's doing it to hide his voice, obviously. But what its real life thing was is supposedly. And I used to see guys would have, like, you know, that lost their throats or tracheas or whatever. Like, they used to have, like, a thing that looked like almost like a microphone they would put on their throat and vibrate to, like, simulate vocal cords, and they would have those robotic voices. I've never seen one like he had where he's, like, sticking it, like, literally in his mouth like that. But that's supposed to be what the device is. And, like, according to, like, the behind-the-scenes shit, because he, you know, his voice is real there, he calls in, he goes, call me evil. I am going to commit murder. But anyway, like, yeah, supposedly the shit didn't work. Like, whatever prop they had, it was actually supposed to really do it, and he just ended up, like, making that voice up by himself. And I'm sure they probably touched it up maybe a little bit in post-production, but yeah, like, that voice, man, that's what totally sold the movie. Like, perfect.
See, a lot of people probably won't even like know like, what are they doing? Fucking, like, just hanging out and, like, doing a show on New Year's. Like, this isn't something people are gonna know about much longer. Like, having a TV, like, station show a marathon of a show all night long on New Year's Eve or something. Like, you only get that on, like, the Joe Bob stuff now.
Joe Bob and Carson Daly and what do you call it? Shit, what's the other one? Dick Clark. Whatever. Maybe that is a Carson. But the one with Ryan Seacrest. Like, that's it. But I remember when I was a kid, like, there was more. And, like, even the recent years, like, Fox had one, and they still kind of have one, but like they kind of scale it back. But I don't know why. You think everybody would go nuts during New Year's Eve shows still, because like what else is anybody doing on that night? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. What's like the New Year's Eve that comes to mind when you think of New Year's Eve?
In all honesty, I remember one I really liked. I can't remember what year it was. There was one year, my dad was actually working because he worked overnights at the post office. So one year it was just me and my mom, actually. I remember she let me take some pots and pans and took like like the wooden sticks, and like so like I got to like I sat down in front of the TV. I was probably about 5 or 6 years old, and like when it hit midnight or whatever, like I beat the shit out of the pots and pans with a stick. So that was like a really good one. But I actually did a lot, because actually my aunt, her birthday was on New Year's Eve, so we kind of did like for many years we did like a New Year's Eve birthday party thing. You know what I mean? So it was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But I have to say the one that I remember the most vivid, like the one where I really went like all out, was 1999 turning into 2000. Me and my buddy, his one of his friends, like their parents was going to be away, so like he had like not a huge party, but a big party, like 30 people. It was just all college kids drinking and shit. And the reason I remember this is like we just brought tons and tons of beer. We got annihilated. We actually brought our own cooler. We bought lunch meat and bread, so we made sandwiches all night, so we could keep drinking and drinking. And I remember it was like when it finally became time to get midnight, my friend, he was so freaked out about Y2K, because there was like this weird shit. Everybody thought everything was going to shut down or blow up at Y2K. Like, this is not exaggeration. Like the living room or whatever, where we're all huddled around the TV, was right by the front door. Like right when it was like the last 10 seconds, he literally ran out of the house, dove like over some bushes into the grass, like. And I'm just like, I was like, did you do that for a joke? And he was like actually scared. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I remember back before, like by the time it was the night of, the New Year, like it seemed like it was all sorted out and nobody really thought that was going to happen anymore. But for like a good month, like, maybe like the year leading up to it, like for a month, people were like, yeah, Y2K, it's a big deal. Like shit's going to go down. And I remember like I was young enough to be kind of scared, but then like after like a month, it was like everybody just like, oh no, it's gonna be fine. And it's like, oh okay.
Well, they were working on it for years, but the thing that was weird was like when they made all this computer software in the early '80s. Like this is what the problem basically was. Like all the years, instead of making 4 digits, like 1995, 1996, they did it all like 85, 86, 87, just 2 digits. So people were like, well, what's going to happen when it rolls over and becomes 00? They're like, we don't know. Like they thought like all the bank information of the world was going to, so like they did they were sitting there, and it's weird too that like you were, around 1997, 1998, they were still using like software from the early 80s and 70s and shit. So they, all these different companies that made like, mostly I would say all this business software, because nobody was still running, personal computers from the early 80s and shit. Like, yeah, they had to do all these patches and work overtime and shit. But I'm just like, the idea that shit was going to blow up or go into like, because my mom had a friend, this lady, and like her and her husband like bought all this canned food and shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like, like they were like waiting for the world to end. I'm like why? Like,
See, I remember that's the New Year's that comes to mind is 99 when we switched to 2000. I remember like that was the first time I ever tried beer, and I was like, this sucks. And I was like, I remember my dad, he went down into the basement where we were and turned all the lights off whenever the clock struck 0.
To freak you out. Yeah. Did it work? You get scared?
I was with, it was my idea, I think, if I remember right.
Oh, okay. So you were in on the joke.
Now I remember we were watching like TRL, like the fucking rockin' 90s fucking TRL, Total Request Live. No one knows what we're talking about. But Limp Bizkit was playing, and they played that Prince song. We got a party like it's 1999.
I remember at the time, like that's what we were watching too at that party, and I think No Doubt did "It's the End of the World as We Know It" by REM.
Amazing, fucking these 90s bands. Music will never be the same.
It will not. I'm going to snap into a Slim Jim right now.
Slim Jims are donk.
They are.
This is funny. Like this room full of punks is like listening to this and dancing like this. Fucking listening to smooth jazz or something.
I was going to say, anybody out there with the Blu-ray who hasn't listened to the commentary track, you got to listen to the commentary track because that guy, Bill from Code Red, he keeps asking the director about the bands over and over. He keeps saying, what about the guy Shadow who did the song? Like, you ever run into him? You hang out with him? And the guy's like, I haven't seen him since we made the movie. And then, like, the next band comes on, Big in Japan or whatever, Made in Japan. He's like, what about Made in Japan? You ever like, know them guys? You ever work with them again? He's like, I don't know. He just keeps asking about the songs over and over.
You probably didn't know who they were when they did the fucking movie.
Yeah, they're like these no-name bands. And, like, but it's funny, though, Shadow, who does the New Year's Evil song, I think they do like 7, if I remember this right, they do like 7 songs for the soundtrack, and another band, Made in Japan, they do like 4. Like, you can see it in the you know, the end credits, but like, yeah, these two guys, like, or these two bands, I should say, they really rocked this shit out to get this soundtrack together, you know?
Exactly, and they inspired Tom Waits to make a song called Made in Japan years later.
Exactly. But I gotta say, for this being like, you know, and it's supposed to be like a rinky-dink kind of like whatever, like, it's actually good, like the little set that they have set up and all this. The only thing that kind of gives it away that it's like a low-budget thing is like there's like kind of not enough people, if you notice sometimes. There's like people dancing, there's like big gaps in the dance floor, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like when you watch like Rockin' Eve, that one that they have on after the countdown that's like pre-recorded back in November, like they have that dance floor packed when all the bands come out and shit.
Yeah. So when did you see this movie for the first time?
Just a couple years ago. I hate to say it, but I really didn't know about it at all growing up, and I think it's because it was a very early Cannon movie. I want to say that this was for people, you know, everybody knows Cannon and Golan and Globus, how they cranked out all these cheap movies and all this stuff. But Cannon was actually a company before those guys bought it. So when they bought it, I believe this was like the first movie that they put in production. That's why I was like, oh shit, they did a movie back in 1980 because their names is on as producer. But I didn't see it. I never saw it in the video stores like at all. And it wasn't until the internet age I kind of started hearing about it. And then the Blu-ray came out. And I want to say I got the Blu-ray like maybe about a year or so after it came out. It was like on sale. I was like, oh, I'll get this. You know, it's a nice novelty of New Year's Eve because I started watching all the Christmas horror movies around that time. And like this movie blew me. I gotta be honest, this movie blew me away. It's like one of my favorite movies, you know, of this genre, low budget horror, whatever. Like I like it because it's just different. Like I like all the weird shit here, like with the son, where let's be honest, he's taking like Tylenol or some shit, but they play it like he's like really like on the edge.
No, you're not looking into the subliminals. He's taking the red pill.
Oh yeah.
The MRA, the men's rights activists, that's what they're alluding to, baby. Mm-hmm. That's what the ending is all about. He's taking the red pill and he's seeing the women for what they are. They're trying to castrate them and shit.
Well, his mom, he's got a real unhealthy obsession about his mom, but I gotta say, maybe it's just the former exploited cinema sleaze fiend in me, but like I kind of see why when I watch this movie.
He probably wants to fuck her.
I think that's what it is. I think it's what the story's alluding to. Now, speaking of doing some fucking, we got the Chad Evil here. We didn't even talk about it. He disguised himself as an orderly in a mental institution so he could go in and pick up a nurse and get her back to her room by himself.
Very Friday the 13th Part 4, the intro to that movie.
Yeah, it was. And I like how he's like, before I clock in, can we drink the champagne in these little paper cups?
Exactly. We all know what he meant by clock in. Before I punch in.
Yeah. And then they show all the, you know, quote-unquote crazy people. This is the first New Year's Eve celebration. So basically, and this is another great nostalgic trip in time we'll see here in a second. As Evil claims his first victim, he records the sound on a boombox of the people getting murdered.
The guy with the mullet looks cool.
He does. He looks like he's ready to party for real. He don't even look crazy. He looks like somebody I would hang out with.
Exactly. He looks like your buddy that came out fucking yelling fucking, you know, what was it he said? He's like, tame the cock.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking dank.
Yeah. What was it? Release the cock, tame the cunt?
Yeah.
Didn't he like pop out of the door screaming that?
Yeah. Fucking amazing. Chad.
That's a Chad move right there. Somebody knocks on your door and you pop open screaming that.
Mm-hmm. That's what this guy should have said right as he came.
Yeah.
He should have come right as he's stabbing her too.
Yeah, that little piece of whatever was back from when I used to make real entertainment, not fake entertainment like I do now.
Well, you make nothing but the best entertainment, baby.
The highest quality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's doing his murder as it's hitting, I think, in the Eastern time zone. And it's some good editing with the... I mean, it's very basic. You don't really see gore, but he's just stabbing a bloody knife as the crazy people blow their little party horns and shit.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the dance floor's kind of sparse right here.
Mm-hmm. So, like, New Wave, that was like glam punk, pretty much. Like glam metal, almost.
Yeah, like, I'm curious how that happened, in all honesty, because it was like... I think it was like a lot of people that were in punk bands and started out with very little musicianship, kind of after playing in bands for 3, 4, 5 years, they kind of, But at the same time, I got to be honest though, like it's hard to think of these as new wave, because to me, new wave always had like kind of like softer punk mixed with synthesizer, and I don't think any of these bands really use synthesizer in these songs.
Maybe it's one of those things where the fashion is new wave, but the people making it didn't realize there was a difference or something.
Like I always say that, like it's a great movie because it's got a bunch of punk bands who play disco music, but that's not really like what happens. But that's kind of what the vibe it reminds me of.
Mm-hmm.
Now we see Evil. He's back in his black disguise. That's what I like about Evil as a killer. Like I find him very interesting. That's what kind of elevates this movie to me. And this is, in all honesty, this movie was made before the whole... I mean, we had Michael Myers for one movie, but this was before it was, like, written in stone. Every slasher movie had to have a fucker in a mask. Even though he does don a mask for a little bit at the end. I kind of like that it's just a guy that, like, what's the point of having a mask? He's, like, a master of disguise, whatever. Like, we don't know who he is for 3/4 of the movie, you know?
Yeah, like, literally, Halloween could have just been Michael Myers without a mask, and we wouldn't have known anything. We wouldn't have known any more about him.
Exactly. But yeah, I really like this guy and this actor. I mean, I'll be honest with you, like, other than like some of the like tiny like extras, like whatever that have 1 line, 2 lines, the main players, like this movie, the acting's pretty good, even though the story is, kind of just like haphazard and, just a basic slasher or whatever. Like, I think the acting's real good in this one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. See, this guy's a fucking idiot because he should have just got the same voice changer that the guy has in Scream 3 and could just put all of his buddies' voices, because that's how that works.
Yeah, in Scream 3, though, that guy had, like, the Predator voice changer. He just talked like everybody.
Yeah, like, they still don't have the technology to do that now, but in Scream 3, somehow he mastered that shit.
I'll be honest, for me, I'm a fan of the Screams, but Scream 3 is where it jumped right off the rails for me, just in general.
Me too, yeah.
Like, it seems like a shitty movie. So, and I know part of it is because, like, they had to, like, rewrite it on the fly because Columbine happened and the original script had, like, a school massacre in it, but...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there was some part where they were killing people in the high school and they had to change that.
I remember that was the only Scream movie I saw in theaters.
Oh.
Like, I was still really young, but, like, it was, like, it kind of came out this perfect time. Like, I didn't know about Scream 1 until it was already on video. And then about the time I bought Scream 1, Scream 2 was coming out. And I remember my mom was like, oh, we're going to go see it, but you're too young to. And then, like, the next time the Scream movie came out was whenever she was like somebody mentioned, like, oh, yeah, you could just pay his way in. Or, like, you could go in with him. And it's like, oh, he can go in with me? I didn't even know that. So I could have went and saw it, too.
Yeah, just parent guidance. Like a lot of parents try to do that thing where they buy the ticket for you and like just let you go in and they leave. And that honestly, I remember that working for a long time. But eventually, theaters like, no, we had enough of this shit. But
yeah, I did that with like Halloween Resurrection and stuff like that. Yeah.
Halloween Resurrection was so tame. It sucks. But no, I remember it was Scream. I had a donk ass. I believe it was Christmas night. Double feature. We went to see Mars Attacks and then Scream.
Donk.
And what was awesome, what people don't remember, is like you could just go see Scream when it came out. Like nobody was there. Like the opening weekend, it made $6 million or some shit. It just kept staying in theaters forever and ever, making money. I mean, people weren't like, oh, it's a flop, because back then they didn't do that with low budget movies. Back then, if a low budget movie came out, people were like, okay, it's a low budget movie. Now it's like you make a $5 million movie, they're like, you better make $134 million opening weekend or it's a flop.
Yeah, and then it'll just be gone the next time you go to try to watch it.
Yep. Now this is where we see the son is even more crazy, because he puts his mom's stocking on his head and then he puts a sewing pin through his ear. He's crazy. I like.
Is he crazy or is he just a punk?
Yeah, he could have been just getting ready to go down to the punk show. I didn't think about that. Exactly. Yeah. I like how his face was all smushed up in his mom's stocking.
Exactly.
That one punk dude with the bleached ass hair, he looked like a crazy albino in the crowd. I'll give him credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we were saying, the theme song, New Year's Evil, that actually became such a hit that just this year, in I think August of 2020, MGM had to release it on the Spotify because people were demanding it all these years later.
Amazing.
Yeah, like I said, this Blu-ray went out of print a couple months ago. I think there's just something bigger around the corner, in all honesty. I think there's going to be some other company's going to put out a giant release, and it's going to be huge. Because this movie, I guess this is the anniversary for it, right? It came out in 1980, just like Empire Strikes Back. Damn, this movie's 40 years old, dog.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just as better now as anything else you pay to go see.
I've seen this movie twice in my whole life, and I think it's okay. Like it didn't do a lot for me either time.
I had a feeling you would be like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know.
But look at him; he's tearing up the flowers for men's rights.
Exactly. There's things about that are fun. Like, see that guy spit on his,
that guy has so much spit in his mouth. Exactly. He looks like an evil Dracula.
Seeing that in crystal clear HD is something else.
Oh, it'll pop your eyeballs out.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm trying to remember when I saw this for the first time. It was probably only a couple years ago, like 3. But this is funny. He's putting on a fake mustache for some reason. Like, after watching the movie and seeing how it all plays out, there's no reason for him to put this on. And who's he hiding from? But it just makes it even more dog. He just figured.
Yeah, I don't even think, because when you first watch it and you don't know, the grand plan he has, you think it probably is, always trying to be disguised, but when you watch it second, third, fourth, fifth time, you realize, no, he just put on the fake mustache to be more sexy, to pick up the women.
Exactly. It's part of the fucking, the red pill, all the stuff they're hitting at in here.
No, I gotta say, too, I think modern audiences, if you made this movie, they'd be like, oh, they wouldn't keep, because they know he called in with the murder, and the cops now verified it. Yeah, we did find a dead lady at the sanitarium and stuff. I think a lot of people now would be like, oh, you got to shut the show down, stop it. Why? But I think it's actually kind of believable that they keep the show going, because it's if the guy doesn't keep calling in, they don't have any chance to really catch him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Fucking betas these days.
I know. They don't want to have any fun.
Exactly. What's funner than fucking a guy calling you telling he's gonna kill somebody every time the clock strikes 12? That's movie shit. That only happens in the movies.
Yeah, movies are supposed to be bigger than life. We don't need realistic shit on the movie screen. Oh, look at him. Talk about a Chad jawline. Look at him come in. He's gonna smoke the little skinny brown cigarette here.
Amazing.
Some people call him Sherman. Yeah, you know the guy that we were talking about earlier that said to release the cock and tame the cunt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that same door that you saw him pop out of when he said that, right next to it, he used to sit down on a chair and smoke those exact little cigarettes. They're called Shermans, yeah.
Squeeze the Sherman?
Yeah, squeeze. I think you're thinking of Charmin.
Yeah, I was. My brain just did
it sounded good when you said it, yeah.
Exactly. That chick on the left's kind of hot, and then the chick on the right looks like fucking what Linnea Quigley would look like fucking 20 years later.
Right. Yeah, the one you're talking about on the right, Like, I did, like, her voice is so recognizable to me. I think she used to, like, pop up on a lot of sitcoms or something, because I remember her always playing the same type of character. And it had to be her, because, like, who else would have that voice like that? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was interesting, too, that this, like, is just a bar in, like, a strip mall somewhere, and, like, all these people are partying their dicks off to celebrate New Year's Eve.
Exactly. It's not going to happen this year. It's not what's going on now.
Well, it probably will. Because, you know, like, it's kind of crazy because we had that big COVID wave that happened around Thanksgiving. We do have to, you know, throw a moment of respect out for the 123,000 people who died last week from the effects of Thanksgiving 2020. So,
exactly.
Rest in peace, everybody.
Exactly.
That's the true New Year's Evil of 2020 is all the people that are going to pass away tonight won't even get to live to see the shining and bright hope of 2021.
Exactly. They can't watch this movie with us, too, on commentary.
No, they can't.
Exactly.
Maybe if you know, they keep hitting that refresh Spotify link, they might get it just in time.
Mm-hmm. You know who could play this character if they ever remade it?
Who's that?
Nicolas Cage.
You know, I kind of thought about that too. It's kind of funny. Imagine if they, because it used to be, because this movie's 40 years old now, but it used to be, remember they used to remake like all the movies like right around the 20-year mark, because 20 years, like now they speed it up, now they're like 5 years, 10 years, just remake it. But it used to be like, in order to be respectable and make sure an original film faded from the memory of the audience or whatever, they would do it like right at 20 years. Could you imagine if they would have remade this movie in the year 2000, 1999, maybe going in 2000 with Nicolas Cage, 2000 era Nicolas Cage, how sexy he would have been in this role?
I would have gummed.
Oh, for sure. What's this weird, like, golden egg purse she has, too? It's strange.
Exactly. Looking weird.
Now, we should say his line that got the girls to come with him so he could go murder him was that he was going to a party at Eric Estrada's house.
Oh, hell yes. And for all you watching now, you don't know who that is either.
Yeah. You know that's one part, though, of the remake script you wouldn't have to change. You could probably still just say Eric Estrada, and girls would probably still go.
Oh, yeah.
I like the song they're doing here, this band. I think it's made in Japan. For some reason, they have this movie, the subtitles don't come on for the songs, I don't think. But I think this is when they're doing that song, Dumb Blondes, they stand around so stupid, Dumb Blondes,
Fucking cancel these guys.
They would be canceled now.
They took the red pill before getting on stage.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I like how they just do a scene here of the cameraman just trying to capture all this punk whatever, like malarkey shit going on. See, this is a nice strip mall, man. They got Christmas lights up, everything. I want to hang out there, have a beer, have a taco.
Mm-hmm.
Like at first, Evil kind of plays it off like he don't like the roommate coming, but then he just figures, why, more the merrier. I'll just kill you both, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like, you know, okay. The first one, the lady Yvonne, he got her with the switchblade. The second one, he got her with the switchblade. This is like the part of the movie where he starts getting more creative with his killing here in a minute.
Hell yes.
Good old Aveda's audio body repair right there.
Yeah, who would win in a fight, this Evil or Evil Ed?
Oh, this Evil for sure, because he's actually straight.
Exactly.
I mean, he literally, like the first one with the nurse, he had to stop having sex in order to get the murder. He's like, damn, I got to pull out real quick to do this murder. Evil Ed, he never could get like any women at all, even though he desperately wanted to.
Maybe Evil Ed could fuck him to death too.
He could if he turned into what would he turn into? The bat or the wolf and fuck him?
Yeah, that's always a part that always confused me in that movie. He turns into a wolf all of a sudden. Where'd the wolves come from?
I never heard of a vampire turn into a wolf.
Yeah,
I guess maybe that comes from the original Dracula, because didn't Francis Ford Coppola, like Gary Oldman, turn into a werewolf for a little bit? I think he did. Maybe that was in the original book. I'll be honest, I might be a horror aficionado, but I have not dusted off the ancient tombs of Bram Stoker's 1600 vampire lore.
Me neither. Yeah. Wasn't there another movie called Evil Ed from the 90s?
I think there was. Wasn't it like that little, like a little skinny nerdy guy?
Yeah, and he was like a doctor or something.
Yeah, I have to look that up. I can't remember. Was it the guy who played Carl Wayne Bishop in Jury Duty? That's who's popping in my mind, but I don't know if it was.
I don't think so. I think I'll remember that. Because I always wanted to fuck that guy.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Like when you see him. No, it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's a different guy. Play Evil Ed. Something about Evil Ed, the movie. It always reminded me of being. Yeah, it is foreign. Evil Ed is a 1995 Swedish horror comedy.
Dog.
Yeah.
See, whoever wins the first fight gets to go on and fight that Evil Ed.
Yeah. But maybe he can, maybe Evil, instead of fighting everybody named Evil Ed, he can just fight somebody else named, like, Evil something else, like Evil Lyn from Masters of the Universe.
Mm-hmm. Fucking dog.
This is some good filmmaking here where he actually gets annoyed with his murder victims. Because the girl keeps talking about how she does all this meditation and that her roommate Lisa, who's actually the pretty one, she has bad diarrhea she keeps talking about.
That's sexy.
Yeah. Like, are they trying to get him turned on here? Because, I mean,
There's nothing hotter than a fucking hot chick just fucking spraying that fucking liquid dookie. The thought of that.
I'm so glad people are spending their New Year's Eve with us.
Mm-hmm.
No, but what I like about this movie compared to other slashers is other slashers, we love them. We love the slashers. I love the slashers. I got shelves full of them here in the house. But let's be honest, like, what we like about slashers is that they're very routine. They're very, droning in a way. Then, like, nothing unexpected happens. Just the guy in the mask shows up and kills somebody over and over. Like, with Evil, like, you think, oh, man, this guy's so slick. He's got it figured out. He's got a voice changer. He's got a fake mustache. Everything's going to go right. But, like, he actually has to call a lot of audibles during this night. And, shit is still going pretty much to plan right here, but not really, because he's running late for his murder right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, shit will get real wacky. But I like that edge of reality to it.
Yeah, if he did end up missing one of the time zones, would he just be like, well, fuck it, I can't finish the plan now? Or would he just do it late?
I think he probably just would call in late or something.
Yeah.
But we never really know, like, unless I missed it, we never really know where he's trying to, like, drive to real quick right here. Because like, this is where he starts doing the murders and shit at the liquor store. But, but we don't really know where he was trying to go. Maybe he was like Ted Bundy, like he had a spot where he, like, would take victims and do shit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Which who do you think is sexier, Ted Bundy or Evil?
Fucking Evil, probably.
Yeah. This lady has the weirdest look on her face when he gives her the money. Like, she looks like real pissed off. Like, he's giving her $100 to go buy a bottle.
I would have just took it and left.
I know. But she kind of had, like, that scowl on her face. All right, this is one of the best kills in murder history, or horror slasher movie history, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
He's got, like, a giant garbage bag full of marijuana at the very bottom. He's like, put your head in here, sniff it. And then he just fucking gets her with the plastic bag. She can't breathe.
That's how I hope I go.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely how Mac is going to go. But
exactly.
He's going to pass out and fall into his bag of weed. It was going to be like a Final Destination movie with Mac.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was great. Now, I always wondered about Evil's plan. Did he waste like $100 of weed putting it in there, or was that just like some dill or some shit that he put in there?
I don't know.
So the director claims that, and this is another famous scene of the movie, is they claim that this liquor store clerk guy is the most sincere liquor store clerk in all of cinema history, because like he's real nice and he's like, have a good night and all this shit. But the director claims that guy was a former Laker, just like one of the background bench players on the Lakers. Like, I looked everywhere. Like, that guy is not credited anywhere. I could not figure out this guy's name because I wanted to look up his stats, see how long he played in the league and all that. If anybody out there knows who the identity of the former Los Angeles Laker turned liquor store clerk in this movie is, let us know.
Oh, yeah.
Hit us up on Facebook.
You want to find those fucking baseball cards. They don't have basketball cards.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be
never watched
donk
the sports ball.
if you saw him at the convention and he signed his basketball card for you?
Oh yes.
You're one of those sports ball guys like Bird.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know anything
Never
about
watched the
sports.
football. Yeah. See, this is a dank fucking. See, if I was her and I just saw that light come up and see that guy with that mustache, I would have got instantly wet. I wouldn't even have to take my panties down; they would just fucking slip right off. So wet.
I mean,
It's that mustache.
If Blaze would have been there, she wouldn't have all these problems and be so cranky. But I heard a lot of people poke holes in that scene, saying like, "Oh, like it's like she wouldn't like find him in the dumpster, and it's so unbelievable because he has to hide right there and wait for her." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like he laid her friend's shoes out in the alleyway. You're gonna know what your friend's shoes look like that she was wearing that night, and then he put her dress hanging out of the dumpster." And like, I really like that scene, that tracking shot they had when the girl's walking towards the dumpsters. Like, it's just kind of ominous. And of course, you're going to be like, "Oh, my friend's clothes are sticking out of this dumpster." Of course, you're going to try to lift it up and look inside, right? Like, I don't get the people that naysay that scene. It's like the stupidest fucking nitpick ever.
Fucking naysayers.
Like, if you and me was hanging out and I went into the store and then you was gone, and then like your tennis shoes are like laying everywhere, and then like your hat was there, and then I see your fleshlight sticking out of the dumpster, I want to open it up to see what you're doing.
Exactly. You'll just see me fucking trying to fuck the fleshlight.
Exactly. And Evil put that cat in there for the cops to find too. That was slick.
Mm-hmm.
So this is pretty dank, and like you can kind of tell when you look at the footage here. But when the cop goes in the alleyway here and he goes in the backyard, somebody's like playground in the backyard. Like, I don't know how the hell they pulled this off with the crew and the lights and the sound and shit. But the director claims that they filmed this scene, and he claims the cops were real cops. So I guess they weren't worried about getting in trouble because they would just be like, "Hey, we're real cops, don't worry about what we're doing." But he claims that they went into these people's backyard like without permission, didn't tell them that the people were just sleeping inside. Because you even see a cat like walk around the backyard there.
Dog.
But could you imagine if you like heard something and you looked out like the window right there from your bedroom and you seen like these corpses and the cops out there? Like, I would freak out. Like,
exactly. I'd go out there and demand they put me in their movie.
Yeah, let me be.
Make me fucking star.
I can never stand that bird shit or that mold or whatever's on that swing. It's so gross. This is donk too. I like how he finds the purse on the bottom and then she falls down the slide. Like, and also too, like it's alluded to right here, but like it's not spelled out throughout the entire movie. But his calling card that he leaves on these victims is he slashes their tit. Like
fucking mean.
Yeah, like they reference it with dialogue there, but that supposedly he was doing it. He says slash just like the nurse. So like he's been doing it to all of them, but that was the only time I think in the movie you actually see that he did it.
He's ruining these perfectly good titties.
Yeah. And then, like, clearly he influenced Dana Carvey's Master of Disguise because now he's in a priest outfit, driving around. And this is what I was alluding to earlier. Like, I like this movie. It has a touch of realism in it. There's no supernatural powers. We're not in, Camp Crystal Lake or Springwood Dream World. Like, this is just the real world of, like, fucking Van Nuys, California and shit. You know what I mean? Like this guy, though, anything can happen during his murder spree, and right now he's getting fucked with by supposedly this was a real motorcycle gang too, and I actually believe it because these guys on his motorcycle, especially that dude that flipped him off, that dude looked drunk as fuck.
That wasn't Dennis Hopper?
No.
Fuck me.
It was Joey Hopper's cousin.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I kind of like this little scene here of Evil driving around just listening to them talk about his news reports or whatever on the radio, talking about his murders. I never understood the book here though. The nuns, like I guess what kind of get fucked up here is because he roughly before, like we find out later, he was going and murdering people in places he knew of. So like I guess he was going to go to a church here because he kept looking at a book at a picture of a nun or whatever, and that's what made him rear in the bicycle gang, motorcycle gang. And now
Did
they're
you notice? Yeah, did you notice that weird shot whenever they hit?
Yeah.
It almost looks like the fucking the camera guy was trying to film it and didn't realize it, but fucking had his camera facing backwards.
Yeah.
And fucking like, oh yeah, I think I got it. We'll just use whatever I got in this movie.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell what's happening there.
Well, that was just. Well, we got to talk about the Vionized Drive-In Theater. Get a good look at it right here, Zach. This is the same drive-in. This was in the flesh, the real version right here, that you see portrayed in the hit Quentin Tarantino film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where Cliff Booth lived on the backside of it. And I did some research on this drive-in. Obviously, it's long gone. It's been torn down a long time. I think there's some condos or some shit there now. But the version that you see here with the giant mural with the cowboy out front that you see so good recreated in CGI in the Tarantino film, that actually got torn down like a year or so after this because they remodeled the drive-in to add more screens and get another screen, and they had to tear down that beautiful mural there. But yeah, so like if you're a fan of the Tarantino movie, make sure you check this out so you see the real life version, not just the CGI bullshit.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they CGI'd it.
Yeah, don't, baby. They had to. It didn't exist anymore. It's probably the first time Tarantino had to use CGI.
Is it in a lot of movies from the 80s?
Not that I know of. Those are the only two I know. I'm trying to think. Yeah.
Was he a big fan of this movie? I want that one from that movie specifically.
Well, I'm thinking too. He probably had gone there. Tarantino did, in all honesty. Because supposedly he used to go to the drive-ins and everything, grindhouses, all that bullshit. Like, he had to know about the Van Nuys drive-in. Like, and I think he probably picked that one other than, like, Van Nuys was just a logical place for people who don't know, Van Nuys is, like, just basically, you know, the sprawling suburb out in the San Fernando Valley. I used to live near there. I used to go down there a lot, go to see movies down there a lot. Yeah, it's kind of like, especially back in the day, that movie, have you ever heard us on EC? We used to always talk about Van Nuys Boulevard. Like that area right there was a hot spot for like cruising cars and shit. Like in the beginning, it's actually in this movie, it's actually Hollywood, but it kind of reminds me of Van Nuys, how they used to cruise. Like it used to be a big thing back in the day. You know, it's hard to imagine now, but before people had internet and bullshit, people just used to drive around, cruising their cars, cruise on their motorcycles, whatever. You know, just try to pick up girls, do whatever. But like
they would just make like a Tom and Cruise.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, this is kind of cool. He actually has to abandon his car, which I wouldn't do in all honesty. But I think the reason they do it is, you see, he stabs a biker, and now he's going to go some Grand Theft Auto style here, and he's going to hijack a young couple. And this girl, I can't remember what her name is, Terry something, but she kind of went on to be famous after this, and this was like her first thing, and they got her to be nude and everything.
Showed her big fucking milkies.
Huge, yes. And that's how, you know, this is like a real... Because I hate when people make like fake exploitations now, and they don't have like enough violence, or they don't have like nudity in them. Like this is how, you know, you're watching a legit Canon Films exploitation movie right here. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I hate those people, Zach, that are always like, you don't need to show this, you don't need to show that. Look at this motorcycle, bam. See, like the other one, like how you said that other motorcycle crash, they didn't really show it. It was like a weird backwards camera angle. I think it's because they couldn't afford to fuck up that Mercedes, but whatever this Buick is that he's driving now, they just ram it right into it.
And they were like, fuck this car.
but they did save a little bit of money because that motorcycle didn't run anymore. They just propped it up right there. I like that. He rubs the bloody knife on the upholstery. And it gets real sleazy here, too, where she's begging, please don't hurt me. Like, you know, we can even get it on and all this. I won't fight back. See right there? That's one of the main shots right there to tie into the lyrics of the movie, Zach. Shining like the light that hits the knife at the edge of midnight. So, like, you'll see it again when he's on the baseball field. Like, they actually went out of their way to position lights and had the actor Kip Niven like hold the knife up a certain way. Like they always wanted that get that shiny reflection of the knife. I think it's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
So another reason I'm a huge fan of this movie, in all honesty, is I love the way this movie looks. Like I'm a big fan of, you know, movies that were shot on film back in the day. Like Like, I'm not really that big of a masturbator of movies being old just to be old, in all honesty. I kind of like movies that are shot in a certain time period, and this is like a real sweet spot before shit got like too slick. And like whatever cameras they used here, with the film stock, whatever, I just love the way this movie looks. Like, it kind of has a little bit of like that same kind of like look that like a lot of the early John Carpenter movies, like The Fog and shit, had. Like, I don't know, man. Like, to me, when I go see these multi whatever movie blockbuster movies now, they look so bland and shit. But like look, this is like the girl running through the park, and apparently I used to live near this park. If I would have known this was the park from New Year's Eve, I would have went down there, checked it out. But there's always homeless people down there. This is over in the valley off of Magnolia Boulevard. But yeah, man. Like, to me, that 50% of the artistry of making movies, man, is the way it looks. And I just love this, man. The shadows, everything. There'll be a couple points here where he holds up the knife. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, movie making is a visual medium. And kind of once everything switched over to digital, man, like, I'm not feeling it that much anymore, you know?
When I'm president, I'm gonna make legislation so that every fucking new TV has to have a feature that makes it look like it's fucking shot on film.
Yep.
And you can't release your movie without it. Actually, I'll just say fuck it and make you shoot on film.
Yeah, smash them digital cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's on YouTube smashing that like button. How about we smash them shitty digital cameras?
Exactly.
I like this too, where like, because he pulled up and almost ran over the drunk guys, and like hit a stop that gave the girl a chance to like run out. Like I said, like, you know, things went really wrong. He had to abandon his initial wherever he was planning. They don't really spell it out, but whatever his plan was, where he was going to go find the nun and kill her. Like, he's kind of getting revenge, like, loosely on people and places. In this, you know, like, we don't really know that as the movie goes along, but as it wraps up, we find out. But yeah, I love that, like, everything starts going like really wrong for him at this point in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the cops are hot on his trail. They're about to stop him killing this girl.
Fucking, he's a fucking beta. He doesn't deserve for things to go right, though.
Why do you say that?
Because he's letting his woman castrate him.
Well, he's trying to fight back for men's rights.
Yeah, he is, but he's not doing good enough.
Good. Well, the first half of the movie, he did great. You got to give some credit. I mean, we're losing that battle in real life. I mean, look at all these movies and TV shows brainwashing our youth, telling them to be betas.
Being a beta, exactly.
I sent you that video where the guy was going around on a leash at the convention, and the girl had him on a leash. Like, you got to fight against that shit.
Exactly.
And then everybody on the street corners bowing down and kissing those other men's feet. We got to stop that from happening in our society.
Amazing.
No, yeah, like it's clearly just slapdash, like the whatever, you know. Like, they really just put like the tinsel you put around a Christmas tree. They put it all around the door there of the hotel, but it totally like works, man. The illusion that this is the holidays, it totally works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it looked like that camera had a dick and balls drawn on it.
You think so?
Dick and balls, see it?
Oh, it does, yeah. You talking about like the logo of the station?
My brain's such mush. That's what I'm noticing right now.
What about the Hollywood Hotline sign? They had to spend a lot of money. That's a sexy sign, don't you think?
It is.
Yeah. Big pair of juicy lips.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have had a pair of juicy lips like that back in 1980? Suzanne Summers, somebody like that?
Hell yes.
Yeah. You know what's weird every time I think about when I see this movie, Zach? Like, look at Blaze's dress, how it's like that kind of weird, like it's part pink, the edge kind of looks almost yellowish, like it's changing colors. It always reminds me of Marty McFly's hat from Back to the Future Part 2.
Whatever the hell that material is.
Yeah. I had one of those hats. I bought it at Universal Studios in like 1995 or something. And it like, I used to actually wear it, but it was very uncomfortable because it was very stiff. It wouldn't really sit on your head, right? No, okay. It doesn't really pay off right now, but here we see the son. He's still got the stocking on his head. Now he's got a pair of New Wave sunglasses, so he's creeping along the backstage. I like this scene.
He's a fucking weirdo.
Yes. We'll get to his story. I think probably gets more relevance later when the movie concludes.
Oh shit! I put a drink in the freezer. It's probably frozen by now. I'm gonna go grab it.
Yeah, go get it before it blows up. So right now it's basically just you're looking at all the cops. They're like, kind of like talking to Blaze about what's going on, and I mean, would the cops really be going over the details with Blaze here? I mean, probably not. There's the son. He's eavesdropping, but I don't know. It's good slasher movie stuff. Now this is interesting too. Like they sealed off this entire building because they don't want the killer, showing up at the show. Even though I don't think, maybe he did allude that he would show up at the show. But
yeah.
I like how Evil shows up in that shiny yellow pickup truck. He pays some guy to give him a ride. Did Evil have like the early version of Uber back in 1980?
Mm-hmm. It's funny. Like I told you before we started that like I had to celebrate Thanksgiving later because my sister worked on Thanksgiving, and we ate all the turkey and shit, and like it sets in like fucking. For some reason, every year, like I eat turkey and then I get tired.
Yeah, it's that tryptophan.
Why does that happen?
I got like weirdly drunk. Like I've been like my sleeping hours have been kind of like mixed up. Like sleep a few hours here, sleep a few hours there. Like I was like literally like I didn't drink any alcohol on Thanksgiving, but like I ate a ton of food and big chunks of turkey. Man, I was delirious. I was so slap happy and like my eyes were watering. Like I was like high and drunk at the same time.
Dog.
No, like I was saying, like he can't get in the building because they sealed off, so he's trying to sneak into the back here and see how like that back entrance they put a Christmas tree in the corner. Mm-hmm. That was another great highlight of the commentary track. He's like, why is the Christmas tree up? Why is the Christmas tree? He's like, ain't it late? Like Christmas was a week ago. And the director's like, oh, I think it's pretty customary that people leave up their Christmas tree for an extra week until New Year's, I thought I was surprised that Bill didn't know that people did that. Did you ever do that? Because we kept our shit up like till like the second.
Yeah,
or
pretty
third.
much. Yeah. My family usually kept their fucking Christmas lights on, just didn't plug them until Christmas.
Really? That's dumb.
Exactly. They were just my fucking it's like, well, I don't feel like getting them off because it's still cold out, and by the time it's fucking time to put them up again, I won't feel like it again, so we'll just leave them up.
I mean, might as well. Like we never actually. I mean, other than like stuff just on like maybe on the porch or something. Yeah, we never like my dad never like climbed up on the roof or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one year I left the Christmas tree up till like March.
Dog.
Yeah.
Christmas all around. Fuck it.
Yeah, why not? Now he had hit the guy with a brick and they were laughing on the commentary like, oh, like, in the script it was like a chunk of the pavement that had been broken, but they couldn't afford to actually break the pavement there to show that, so they just had to have a random brick. But I used to actually see bricks in like, well, probably not like a hotel parking lot like this, parking garage, but like I used to see people back in the day, like like a long time ago when I was a kid, people would, like if they had a car that I don't know if the parking brake was bad or if they just had a car that they would that they would have parked for a long period of time. They used to put bricks on the back tires. I remember seeing that. So not too far fetched. Now this is the extremely far fetched thing, like this fake box that they built on the wall, and also too he just has a box of clothes hidden.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only time I'll be critical of Evil's plan here. But
this reminds me of Critters 3, where the guy that's like the caretaker or whatever of the building they're in, the lady yells at him to fix the fucking elevator, and he fixes it, like he controls it like whether it goes or not by like putting a fucking like screwdriver in between like two little things, and then it circuits like, and then it works.
That's exactly what Evil does here, and I never understood. And I mean, it is totally fake. Like the director admits, they just built that box because the real thing is like in a locked away room with the controls and shit. But yeah, just jamming a screwdriver is going to make the elevator go up, go down.
Genius. I remember hearing that like back whenever they first made the automatic fucking elevators, they questioned people like, oh, would you ride an elevator if it didn't have an elevator attendant in it? and like overwhelmingly people were like afraid to ride in an elevator without a guy just standing there just to push a button.
I mean, all they did was either push a button or some of them had that little lever or whatever. But yeah, they weren't really in charge of it. Now, Critters 3, I can't remember, was Critters 3 the one after he starred in it that Leonardo DiCaprio was declared the sexiest man in America?
Exactly. Fucking our boy Leo.
Yeah. He was a big Chad in that movie.
He was.
Yeah. No, yeah, the cop, he comes in and he finds the son, whose name is Derek, just hanging out in the room, and he almost shoots him. But, yeah, I don't know. This isn't a very fancy hotel room, I gotta admit. Like, they kind of dress it up with all these flowers and shit. But I guess, too, what the director said was the actual, like, hotel you see on the outside and the hotel they filmed on the inside is different. So I guess that makes sense. They probably had to go to a cheaper hotel to film.
Look at that mask.
I know.
I'm pretty sure if you go and buy that mask, it's listed, like, the name of that mask is, like, the Chad mask.
Yeah, it is. A lot of people always got confused thinking it was a Bob Hope mask, but it's not.
It's a fucking Chad mask.
It's one of the guys from Laurel and Hardy, supposedly. But I think they repainted it.
And here we get kind of a reveal. That's the killer is her fucking husband.
Yeah.
That's why he's been using a fucking voice changer. And it makes sense when you watch it, because it's like, yeah, if he's just some random guy, why would he care if anybody, like, recognize his voice? Unless you're like really thinking about it, you probably think like, oh, maybe he's like maybe he's like known in the town or something.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, because like all of a sudden, like when Evil reveals himself to be Blaze's husband, like when he talks to the cop, he all of a sudden, which I mean, it's good acting, but it's funny though, because he has like a completely different personality now. He's like, officer, I just wanted to tell you, in case you're wondering who I am. And the guy's like, where the hell you come from? He's like, I'm the lady's husband. Like, he's completely different now.
This is the first day of shooting.
Yeah. He's like, I was in the John. I was afraid to come out.
Oh, yeah.
Bullshit. You was in there with that mask on.
Exactly.
Well, you know what's funny, though? Like, I didn't even think about it until, like, the last time or two I watched this. Is like he was in there hanging out with the crazy son.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but like I kind of want to see that prequel movie with like just the hour or 40 minutes or whatever it was where him and the crazy son was like, what were they talking about? What were they doing?
I was just like fucking going to YouTube and looking up any of the Red Pill videos. They're just saying that shit to each other.
Yeah, half the people are going to be. What the hell are they talking about? But it actually is the real theme of the movie. I mean, this was like way ahead of its time. That's why I thought you were going to love this movie. In all honesty, I was surprised you had such a lukewarm take on it.
Yeah. Fucking, I'm a beta.
This is how they catch Evil. Is he says, "Oh, the manager approved me to be in the hotel." Like the manager has to approve the husband being in a hotel room, like. It's not like he had access, like he was going down to the stage area and doing all. You know what I mean? Like he just was in a fucking like you can't tell me they possibly know everybody who's in every room of that hotel.
I remember like the first time I watched this and the second time, like I don't know what it was, but like whenever he finally he reveals to his wife. Mm-hmm. Like both times I watched it, I didn't realize that was his wife he was talking to. Like she looks different in that scene to me for some reason.
You talking about in the hotel room or the elevator later?
The elevator, yeah.
Yeah, I think because she gets all scared. What's funny too is she's all like, "Oh, I gotta go change" and all this. It's like, don't hosts of these shows like change throughout the night? Like, why does she just have one big clothes change? You know. Whatever wardrobe change.
That's probably what threw me off was she just changed his clothes out of nowhere.
Yeah. Now this is funny too. Like not only does he jam in the screwdriver so he can control the elevator, but apparently this giant hotel only has one elevator. But we'll go with it. But I love that he has a little monitor where he can see like the camera or whatever.
Exactly.
This movie was ahead of its time. Yeah, it was ahead of its time. You can do all that shit now. But like that's kind of isn't all that kind of what they did in Die Hard? like 10 years later, 8 years later, one of the guys like in the command center, they take over all the cameras, they can tell what's going on. Yeah. Evil had his own like Raspberry Pi version of it back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I never know really, in all honesty, as much as I love this movie. Yeah, she got like a weird Red Riding Hood like outfit on now, but I never like really know like what to make of the cops in this movie. Like they're kind of like weird. Now, what do you think of this scene, Zach? Like I couldn't tell like the way she's looking at him. Like I love that the camera's held over by a little braided wire too. And Evil's watching this, her talking to the cop, but like she almost comes across like she's like going to fuck this cop. Like, see, like the looks they give each other. It's almost like there's something going on between them two.
He's a fucking more of a Chad than her husband.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't say that, but yeah. It's two Chads fighting over the same Stacy.
Exactly. I like the like camera angle he's seeing is just what the movie, like the film shot.
Yeah. It's pretty dumb.
They're just getting that one fucking corner of the elevator.
Hey, this by the way, this movie was made for $400,000, which Halloween was. Everybody says, "Oh, it's such a miracle." Halloween was made for $300,000, but the extra $100,000 I think made a big difference because like they didn't just shoot like whatever, like they went all over like the city here. Whereas Halloween, they kept every other scene. They kept going back to the Myers house and shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Ain't he lucky that like them falling like knocked him out?
Really
or stunned him.
It's awesome that it like really fucked up the cop, but she's more awake. I do like that. I'm not gonna lie. I do like that kick he gives the cop right across the fucking face. Now, I'm dying to know because I want a sweatsuit like this, but I always thought in my mind that he was wearing a Fila sweatsuit, but it's not a Fila logo on it. It looks just like it, but it's not. It's like some other brand, maybe some Italian shit.
Maybe they couldn't use the real stuff. They had to fake it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're using the fucking the Good Value version.
I love Good Value.
Oh yeah.
They got some Dunk fruit cocktail.
I knew you were gonna bring that up, but I didn't know if you would because nobody knows the reference we're making.
Oh, I think there's a lot more Great Value shoppers out there than you. I got some this whole whatever allergy season. I've been surviving off some Great Value cold and flu medicine, or whatever it's called.
Exactly.
Great Value is the brand chosen by Chads worldwide.
Yeah, fucking Good Value. It means Jesus.
It does.
I sent our boy here a video of this guy doing a review of a fruit cocktail from Great Value, and he's like he's like crazy. He's like talking about like he's like doing weird like numerology stuff where he's like reading like different words and like linking them to like letters or numbers and saying like, oh, this equals Jesus. So Good Value, that equals Jesus, and it's really funny.
That guy's head would literally explode like the guy in Scanners if you ever went to an In-N-Out Burger and looked under the fry baskets and under the cups where they put all the proverb, Psalm 316, all that shit on the bottom. Yeah, his head would explode. He would really be getting that would be like mainline the dough. He's been making up the shit for years of where to find the Jesus. But if he got the real pure uncut In-N-Out Jesus references on the fast food containers,
exactly.
Which I don't I don't give a shit. I don't have a problem with anybody's religion, whatever. But isn't it weird that like and it's one thing if you just want to put it on the side of the cup, like hey everybody look at this. But is it like somewhat insidious that they hide religious messages like underneath and like you know what I mean? Like it's just weird that it's hidden.
Weird, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I guess we've been talking about the red pill all night long. We should talk about the reason Evil, he even says, see, you castrated me. So basically we found out, we didn't know exactly, who they were talking about, but the cops were saying like, oh, this guy, he was they did a little research, they found out this guy was a patient at the sanitarium where he killed the nurse earlier, and he was connected to this place and that place. And like his cover was he was supposed to be in Palm Springs that night, and he just popped up to surprise or whatever. Like, I don't know if he was supposed to still be in a loony bin somewhere else or, like, what was going on. But, like, yeah, he has mental problems. But, like, basically this whole thing he's doing to get back at his wife and stop her. Like, he's upset, too, that the son got a role in a TV show and the mom didn't even care. But he really goes down the red pill thing here. He says that the wife, Blaze, she dresses sexy for other men. That she even tries to turn on their own son. Like, it's just, he's just disgusted with his wife here. And then she tried to castrate him.
She turned on him like she turned her back on him, or she tries to turn him on, like give him a boner. She tries to give her son a boner.
Yeah. And I'm just like, what's weird though is like you do get the impression that the son is weirdly obsessed with his mom. But even though she was flirting with the cop, like I didn't really see her flirting. If anything, she was just ignoring the son.
Yeah.
Like I guess
it would have been better if he put on the pantyhose and like put the thing through his ear and then started jacking off in the pantyhose.
I was gonna say like they should have simulated that somehow because it would have made things more clear or whatever. But yeah, so basically he's doing all this shit as revenge on his wife and her perverted ways and whatever. Which basically this movie is about a son and a father. Like we don't know for sure if the son is in on the whole game. Maybe he is, maybe he ain't. We'll see some twists and turns later in the film, but yeah, it's like basically like they just hate how come he just didn't divorce the lady and like take his son away? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's mad that she like has a better job than him, and he has to ask for an allowance and all this shit. He's a beta. Which,
by the way, like if I could just sit around all day and just ask for an allowance, like I wouldn't be complaining at all.
I'd be fine with that.
I'd be like, dress as slutty as you want. Just leave me some PlayStation money on the dresser.
I'm all about that cuck lifestyle.
I'm tired of working. Make me a kept man all you want.
Exactly.
So yeah, so his final act of revenge now is he's going to take his wife with the handcuffs and he's going to like string her up to the bottom of the elevator, right? And then like when the elevator goes up or down, I guess eventually she's going to get crushed, I guess is what we're supposed to believe here.
What if his ultimate plan was to force his wife to have sex with another man in front of him to prove how much of a cuck he ain't?
Then, like, he has to do it and, like, witness it, but that it's not going to bother him or whatever?
Exactly. He thinks he's playing some 4D chess.
Well, if he really wanted to see that happen, like how he was looking at her and that cop she was flirting with, he could have just made the elevator keep going up and down for like a half hour. Like it was a long elevator ride. Like they would have got to it eventually. Then he would have got his wish. But no, but he's fighting against it, man. He don't want to be a cuck no more.
Exactly.
Do you think evil? I mean, you know, spoiler, but anybody listening to this show, they've seen the movie. He dies at the end of this film, but if he would have lived like till like 2017 or whatever it was, do you think he would have been a fan of Star Wars: The Last Jedi?
I hope so. Yeah.
He would either been a fan of it or he would have rebelled against it, depending on his viewpoint.
He'd be making a bunch of videos on YouTube about it. Either way.
Maybe if he survived the rooftop fall, maybe he could have turned into the Jesus guy on YouTube more.
You know, he kind of looks like fucking Jefferson from Married with Children right here.
Yeah, he kind of does. And this guy, the technician behind the stage, like, I don't know, he kind of reminds me of Michael J. Fox a little bit.
Yeah, mixed with fucking, like, Evil Ed, maybe.
Yeah.
Goes full circle.
Man, look at this. He got the wire kit, everything for Radio Shack. Clamps him on. And they actually did this for real. I think they somehow faked up the close-up shots of her, but this is like a real stunt person going up and down the elevator shaft. And to be fair, like you can tell they got a harness under their clothes, and I'm 99.9% sure that the real stunt person is a guy. I kind of hate that in movies when like a woman does a stunt and then it becomes a man all of a sudden, but this shit, like it kind of sucks when they do that in the BMX film Rad, but for this shit, I'll let it slide, because I mean, this is some harrowing shit up and down a giant, 14-story elevator shaft.
I love how fake that head looks.
Yeah, well, that's why they don't show it too long. But yeah, the girl that got killed at the beginning, Yvonne, her head is there, and it's pretty donk in all actuality because it's not like an accident. Like he puts her head up in the elevator shaft, and he makes her go up to the exact point where she sees it. Now this couple is the bomb right here. That's riding all stoned, drunk in the elevator shaft. Like this guy, I don't even know how to describe his clothes. He got like a studded punk belt wrapped around his throat.
That chick's got like a heroin chic thing going on.
Yeah, with like her boob hanging out the side of that shirt and all that. Yeah, and
Awesome.
it's funny how they're like banging on the buttons and like they don't even realize evil's making them go up and down. They're just so stoned and shit.
Yeah, like what kind of like? It's a good thing he knows like the exact kind of twitch you need to make with the fucking
Screwdriver.
yeah, the screwdriver to make it go up, and like the subtle differences in the twitch to make it go down.
Well, that could be the prequel too that we're talking about. We get to see when the time he was spending with his son in the hotel room, and then we also do flashbacks to months before when he's breaking into the hotel late at night to experiment with the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty dumb.
And maybe he's the one that set the camera up, so it was just in that one corner. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know because, in honesty, you saw it. It was hanging from, like, it wasn't even mounted. It was, like, hanging from, like, some little braided wires.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he set the whole, maybe like there was no elevator. He just made one, and that's how he did it. He's just that good.
Like, he dug a hole in the hotel.
Exactly.
Like, they only had stairs before.
Mm-hmm. They were not fucking people on the scooters and the fucking wheelchairs friendly.
Yeah, they weren't. It's like if somebody came in to stay the night, they didn't have to be on New Year's Eve, just any night. Maybe they're on vacation or something. They want to stay in there. If they came in on a scooter, they're like, "Nah, you got to hit the road, Jack. We ain't got no. But meanwhile, they got Evil digging the tunnel to China with the elevator shift.
Mm-hmm.
This is like another like cheat or whatever. But now he runs to the rooftop. Evil does. This is actually the rooftop of the Canon offices back in the day.
Exactly. Donk. Yeah. You ever notice like they always do that in movies? Like anytime they have a gun, the guy always puts it in his pants. Like, why is that something they do?
To accidentally blow his dick off. I like he puts his mask back on here. It zips up his jacket.
It's like you have pockets.
I know. Well, I like too. He gives the little speech here.
Mm-hmm.
Like first he takes his gun, his knife out. It's very brief, but it's like very. But that's a donk mask though, because it's got giant eyelids on it. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's almost the front of like a Volkswagen Beetle with them rounded eyelids.
It's a Jad.
Like when they make masks now, there's just like a big brown hole cut for your eyes. That one gives you eyelids.
That should just be the Chad meme. It's just that mask.
It should, because look at that jawline. That's total shit. He says, sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. So he says this little speech to like tell the cops like, hey fuckers, you're gonna have to kill me. And then he has so much fun. He just jumps off the side. Flies down. He's like having a good time. He's like, wee. Like, you know how, like, George Lucas redid Return of the Jedi at the end? He has Darth Vader go, no! Well, they should have done that with, like, a George Lucas edition for New Year's Evil, and they put it on Blu-ray. When he jumps, you just hear him go, wee! He's flying all the way down there.
He's all based in red pilled. He should have jumped down and said, research flat earth or something as he's falling.
Those people down in the parking lot, that would have been a shocking occurrence to hear that philosophy coming at him as his body's flying out. They probably all would have become flat earthers.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that guy has the Robin Williams nanu working Mindy suspenders on.
Dog.
But I really like that shot after he jumps down and they do like the zoom out. Like all of a sudden, I wish they would have used this more in the movie. Like the score becomes like Clockwork Orange. It's like dun, dun, or maybe like Shining. It's like dun, dun, dun. I wish they would have had that kind of soundtrack a little more in the movie.
They missed the opportunity to have the son fuck his dad when he sees him laying there.
But why would he? He wasn't turned on by the dad. It was the mom.
It would just fucking make us go, what the fuck, even more.
Reverse Oedipus complex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it that he picks up his dad's. I do like that he like gives him a hug and stuff. But the director did say, because, you know, like, I mean, he's got blood pouring out his nose and mouth and stuff, but I mean, he's splatted like straight on the concrete. But the director said, like, they actually told him, like, you can't make him too bloody or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is where the movie really would be getting good, and I wish it didn't cut off. So they load, what's her name, Roz Kelly Blaze, because, like, she's passed out, because she survived. She didn't get squished in the elevator or whatever. But they load her into an ambulance, and then we see the son now. And he looks actually more dumb, because he's got the tuxedo on and the mask. So he's
you
like,
can see his teeth through the fucking mask.
He's like really regal. He killed John Carpenter, the ambulance driver, right there. Now he drives away with the ambulance with his mom in the back. And I love.
You think New Year's Evil 2 would just be Halloween 2, where she's at the hospital the whole time and he's following her around?
For sure. And I love how the movie just ends with the like we finally get the last time zone, which would be Hawaii. We hear the radio broadcast from there, you know, ushering New Year's Eve. And then the New Year's Evil song plays again. Like, to me, it's like I wish we could see, like, whatever happens afterwards. Like, does the son end up killing the mom, or, like, does he sexually assault her? What, you know, whatever shocking events would be happening probably. But I love that they end, you know, they leave you wanting more. And 40 years later, I'm sitting here wishing they could have done a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And, like, I was reading, like, some reviews and shit from the time, and they were saying, like, you know, like, obviously this movie didn't get really great reviews or anything. Like, it got very middle-of-the-road reviews, like, oh, it's suspenseful, oh, it's, you know, it was, like, kind of before they were really super down on slasher movies the way they would later on. Like, they still kind of saw this as, like, maybe being somewhat in the psycho mode. But I did see one review saying, like, oh, the song is so catchy because they play it 3 times in a less than 90-minute movie. And I have to say it's true. Like, there ain't no way you're, like, going to fucking watch this movie and not have that theme song stuck in your head later.
Yeah, I just realized I'm singing along to this song. And I'm like, is this a popular song? No, this is the one for the movie. It just got stuck in my head. Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
And, like, I was reading the history of the song and everything, and, like, yeah, there was, like, a group that covered it as an instrumental, ironically, in the 80s, like, a few years after the movie, and, like, yeah, it just took a life on its own, and there's it says soundtrack available and all that on Canon Records. It turns out that they never actually put it out, like I don't know why, but, yeah.
Fucking liars.
Complete liars. If that soundtrack was available, you know that shit would be worth a lot of money on vinyl. But but yeah, like the song, man, it's lit, and the song is like, I mean, I guess it's a niche thing, but the song has lived on enough to, again, I'm just shocked that this movie. I mean, I think they would just, you know, like, how many times did they fucking remake Black Christmas? You know what I mean?
Fucking twice now, yeah.
Yeah, and the last one they retitled it Woke Christmas, and it still came out.
Exactly.
They shot it in 3 weeks and put it out, but yeah, just the title alone, New Year's Evil. Like, even if it wasn't a remake, even if it was just like some other movie, you know what I mean? Like another storyline or whatever. I can't believe nobody stole that title or whatever. But yeah, oh, I didn't even realize the time, Zach. It's past midnight, man. I mean, I know we're in different time zones, but it's past midnight. So
it is officially 2021.
It is 2021. It's weird how, like, Christmas wasn't really that eventful this year. Like, you know, like, Thanksgiving was a big deal, and like I have a lot of Thanksgiving memories of this year, but I don't even remember what happened last week on Christmas.
Yeah, it's like it didn't even happen.
I don't know. Weird. It's weird. But definitely, I want to, you know, to peel the curtain back a little bit. I've, like, pretty much been wanting to cover this movie. I think pretty much since this podcast started. Nobody either had a copy or nobody was a fan, so enough to want to do it. So I got to give you.
And you ended up doing it with me, who wasn't a fan.
You wasn't a fan, but at least you did it.
Exactly.
And
I'm always down.
And to be honest,
I felt useless doing this one because I didn't know much to say.
Yeah, but it's okay because I got to talk about some shit I like about this movie. But again, we're talking about like whatever it was, 82, 83-minute movie, man. This shit flies by, man. Even I couldn't keep up to pointing out all the parts I love about it, but I love it. It's a classic of low budget filmmaking. You know, there's great filmmakers that sit around and for years they craft a movie and they put it together. And then, like, sometimes just people just literally throw shit together because they had no time, no money, and it turns out great. And in my book, this is one of those movies. It's not a genre classic the way like a Halloween or something like that is. But, like, I don't know. Like, I think it's better than, like, in all honesty, I think it's a lot better than a lot of the other early 80s ones that, like, get so much love nowadays. So I'm hoping this movie kind of has a comeback. Same with Christmas Evil. Totally unrelated, but I would say those are my two big underdogs. Like, you always hear about Halloween, you always hear about Silent Night, Deadly Night, but to me, Christmas Evil and New Year's Evil are like the underrated genre ones from that time period, just because they have like a lot more, I guess, humanity into them. Like, I mean, you might think they're ridiculous plots or whatever, or horror movie plots, but like they have a lot of like reasoning and interesting little human characteristics about them. But especially just hearing the director talk about this movie and the canon way of making movies, how it was like just hurry up and go and do it, and they were rushed and shit. I don't know. I think it turned out great. So thanks again for sitting down here and spending your New Year's Eve. I mean, I got to give you big props for that. You didn't just do a movie that you didn't really care about. You did it on New Year's Eve.
Exactly. I'm always down to hang out with the GOAT. That's the GOAT.
That's right. We're always
fucking some of that good greatness will fucking rub off on me.
And vice versa. I'm always down to do a episode with the funniest man in podcasting.
Fuck yes.
There's a lot of pretenders to the throne, but nobody makes me spit my water out more all over the screen when I'm working during the week. And
you lie.
I do not lie. But yeah, that was fun. And I guess just to reflect, really, do a little bit of all Lane saying here, all E's forgot, or whatever the fuck the words are. To look back, like, it's pretty donk year for the movie Graveyard, man. I think we did more episodes this year than probably ever, and unfortunately that was a lot to do with our friend Kid COVID, but
maybe fucking you're the reason the COVID happened. Maybe like the Graveyard being so dank is what fucking threw the fucking universe off its axis.
Maybe that bat that caused the pandemic was a big fan. He's like, man, like, the GOAT just don't have time to sit down and do these episodes one a month. I need more. I need 2, sometimes 3 episodes a month. So the bat went and got himself captured and eaten in a bat soup or whatever they make over there, and that's what caused it all. But either way, you got to make the best of a bad situation. I know a lot of people have had tough times this year. This was for, like, in my personal life, this was supposed to be a huge year for me. A lot of things going on. And yeah, just the bad luck. I wish I would have done these things in 2019, in all honesty, instead of playing them all out for 2020. But, we all got stuck with the same shit sandwich, just trying to make the best of it. And, movies, TV, video games, playing the Resident Evil on the YouTube, Zach. You know what I'm talking about. You got to make your own entertainment.
Hell yeah.
So and also too, like this was the year that besides just doing more episodes, this was the year you got injected into the picture in a big way. So I want to thank you for always taking your time, always ready to record at the drop of a hat.
Hell yes.
It's been a lot of fun.
Good times. Hell yeah.
And you know what? And we don't even have to be like teary and nostalgic for all the great episodes we were able to do in 2020, because COVID's not going anywhere. So all of 2021 and probably the first chunk of 2022, we'll have plenty of time to keep doing these things. So again, thank you, Zach. Thank you to all our listeners. Everybody, thanks a lot. Everybody, when you're not listening to this show, go listen to Zach and Mac. Save the world.
Oh yeah.
Go listen to the Cinema Enema. Go listen to Revival House podcast.
BTM.
Yeah, everything. Those guys over there, they'll teach you how to really F with some wet ass pussy. Videodrome, man, was the wettest.
Hell yes.
I actually forced my fiance to watch the WAP video the other night.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you gotta see it. There's great. There's my favorite part is kind of the end when Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, the hottest musical act of 2020, Megan Thee Stallion, they're walking down like a hallway, and like all the doors are like closed, but there's like all this like literally gallons and gallons of pussy juice coming out underneath the doors, and they're slipping and sliding trying to get out of the hotel quick enough.
That's genius.
Yeah, who would have thought a rap video would have had the best cinematic moment of 2020? But it did.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. We'll catch you again here soon. It'll be a new year, but it'll be the same old shit going down right here in the movie graveyard.
Isn't it funny how like back? Oh shit! I forgot. Dog.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? Poor old lang syne, my dear, poor old lang syne. We'll take a cup of kindness yet, poor old lang syne.
Hello. Shit. I'm so brain dead right. Dude, my brain is mush from just sitting at home for fucking 10 months straight. What is it? Happy New Year's? What do you say? Happy New Year's Eve? What do you say?
Yeah. Happy New Year's, everybody.
All right, let me start over.